listen to our podcast. I was waiting for us to come up on the TV.
Oh, gotcha. There we go.
Here we go. Have you listened to the podcast yet?
No.
Why?
Because we speak it every week. I don't need to listen to myself talk every week.
You have to listen to learn and grow.
I know. I will.
Actually,
I do watch the show a lot, though.
I do like
because I'm always like, why are you waddling back and forth when you're standing still?
No, I like to listen to it because I really learn some things. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that when I cook at home. What are we cooking today?
So we got a bacon-wrapped chicken thigh that we've got like a little bit of a apple cider and brown sugar glaze on.
Okay, I'm excited. Wait, I should also tell people really quickly that if you want to listen to the podcast, just search Springer Mountain Farms Podcast Network on whatever app you like to listen to podcasts to, and then you can find The Leftovers, which is the podcast that we do. And then today we're making this delicious dish. Let's show a picture of it because I want people to get their palates ready for this amazing dish that we'll make in just about 30 seconds. I'm Cara Kneer, journalist, wife, host, and a mother of two. I'm joined by Chef Brian Carson, who has over 15 years of culinary experience. Together, we're going to take the mystery out of everyday ingredients you can find at Earth Fare. This and more on today's Cooking with Earth Fare. Hey everyone, welcome to Cooking with Earth Fare, brought to you by Springer Mountain Farms. I'm Cara Kneer. Thank you so much for joining us on this. I mean, seriously, can we give it up for the weather today? It is beautiful in Cumming, Georgia. Yeah, everyone. It's lovely today, and we're in an actual Earth Fare in Cumming, Georgia, like I just said, and we'd love for you to join us. If you're close by, come sit in our audience. We have a mic ready for you to ask a question to Chef on this dish that we're about to make, or any really culinary questions that you might have. If you're watching at home right now, welcome. And there are so many ways for you to watch at home. You can go to Springer Mountain Farms Facebook page, their website, springermtn.com. You can go to their Roku channel, and we're on YouTube now too, so check us out. Cooking with Earth Fare, we have our own Facebook page, and you can also watch on Earth Fare's Facebook page. So we hope that you will check us out. We hope that you will join us every Monday at 4 o'clock. We're live, and we want you to get involved and be just involved, as Chef and I are, when we create the dish. When I say we, it's him, but I like to take a little bit of credit for it. But no, we like to give away a $50 gift card to Earth Fare too. All you have to do is go to slido.com, and then the hashtag Cooking with Earth Fare will let you answer or ask a question. Sorry, the chef will answer it. He's very knowledgeable, but you can ask a question, like I said, about this dish that we're about to do, or anything that you might be curious about. So please join in on the conversation. Without further ado, let's get to our secret ingredient and the recipe of the week. So please join me in welcoming one and the only Chef Brian Carson. Hi, Chef.
Enjoyed my little victory
I
dance.
did. I saw you out of the corner of my eye. We were talking about beards and dancing, and we're ready to roll today.
Somebody on the crew told me I needed to sing on camera. I was like, I don't think so.
Oh, I think so.
No, we'll draw the line.
All right. Okay. What? Oh, wait. Let's first do
secret ingredient.
The secret ingredient. A lot of you like to guess online. We love your guesses.
One of my favorites.
Well, who doesn't love this? It is
Da-da-da-da.
a bacon.
Bacon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you ever met somebody who doesn't like bacon?
Yes.
Okay.
Vegetarians and vegans specifically don't like bacon.
If they don't like it, that's obviously understandable. But what about somebody who's a carnivorous person?
You always put it back down there, and I always need it.
A carnivore. Have you ever met a carnivore that doesn't like bacon?
Actually, I have.
Okay. Well,
I mean,
I'm 0 for 2.
not many, but I definitely have met someone who's like, I don't like bacon at all, and I was like, you're dead to me. I don't know what we can't. What do we have to talk about if you don't like bacon?
Right. Exactly.
So, one thing I will say that I do like about this bacon, and I'm just going to do this and I'll talk about what I'm doing in just a second. One thing I love about this bacon is that it is dry rubbed and it's uncured. So they actually use naturally occurring nitrates to cure this. Usually those come from, and we can check, but I bet they come from celery. Oh, it doesn't actually say. But yeah, anyway, naturally occurring nitrates usually come from celery or other salty vegetables. And that way it's just a little bit less likely to be bad for you. For several different reasons. One, raising your blood pressure. 2, they can become carcinogenic and things like that. So
this says its ingredients are pork, sea salt, raw sugar, and spice.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Oh, so right here it says no nitrites or nitrates except naturally occurring in sea salt. So they actually just use sea salt, which is even better.
Okay.
So
good to know.
Right, because a lot of your bacon or your cured meats what holds that color in the bacon, which makes it stay pink like that in the meat, is actually nitrates. So they actually add curing salt 1 or 2. So long cure is for number 2. Number 1 is for a short cure, something like bacon, lomo, bacon, stuff like that.
All right. Great. Well, what dish are we making?
Enough about that.
No, I'm very interested in everything you have to say.
We are making a brown sugar glazed bacon wrapped chicken thigh with a little bit of roasted vegetables.
Okay, sounds amazing.
So I went ahead and did some of these before we got started just because it is kind of time consuming and I don't want to spend too much on it, but I want to demo it. So we've got a boneless, skinless chicken thigh here.
Okay.
And this guy's a little bit small, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna have you help me out with some salt and pepper.
Sure.
We're gonna lay this guy right here, about 2 inches from the end of our 2 pieces of bacon.
Is that good?
That is good. Okay. A little less, no more salt on that side. Yeah,
oh.
That's fine.
Okay,
a little bit's fine. You don't want to go light on the salt because the bacon can tend to have a lot of salt in it.
Got it.
One thing I want to say is when you're bacon wrapping stuff like we're going to do today, you want to be careful, and you can see this from the overhead. You don't want to pull the bacon. You see the bacon will actually stretch, and I could stretch this bacon pretty.
Sure.
Probably
20 feet long. No.
Not 20 feet long.
Okay. Sorry.
In the kitchen, we actually used to send to other restaurants and be like, "Go get our bacon stretcher back. We let them borrow it for brunch last week." So. If you did that, don't fall for it. This is your this is your green light. Stay at home.
Yes.
So anyway, don't stretch your bacon out because what we do is if we stretch it out, it'll get too thin, it'll get too crispy, it'll kind of break apart, fall apart while we're cooking it. That's the last thing that we want. I'm gonna just remove this real quick.
Okay, go ahead, because we're already getting questions in from viewers. Thank you so much. Gail's fan. Hi, Gail's fan. I love it when you ask a question. Is there anything bacon does not go with? Anyone tried bacon wrapped fish? Great question.
Actually, yeah. I mean, we've done bacon floundered, bacon and halibut, bacon and wreckfish. We've done it where we've wrapped it before. I've done pinwheels where it's actually on the outside, the flounder's in the middle.
Okay.
It is good. The one thing I will say is be careful when you bacon wrap stuff like a fish because fish is very delicate. It takes quite a bit of time to crisp up bacon. Whereas your fish may become overcooked with you trying to crisp up the bacon.
So maybe like a meatier fish, like a halibut, like
yeah, or maybe even you could even go steaky with like a swordfish. I wouldn't go tuna that's a little too red. It'd be a little too complete.
Okay.
But real quick, I want to start out with this real quick. I want to show you guys the easiest way to wrap something in bacon, other than just wrapping it, obviously. So 2 things. We're going to give you kind of the pro method, and then we're going to talk about the other method because we're just not even going to mess with it. So we've just overlapped 1 inch, or basically the width of your chicken thigh with the bacon from the end.
Okay.
And then just kind of continue. And you see how I'm kind of pushing the chicken to the left?
Sure.
So that you get kind of a spiral action?
Yeah.
That's what we want. So then when we get to these last inch here, take your tail, pull your bacon up, and tuck it. Just like that. Now, if you don't feel comfortable tucking, or if you haven't done enough bacon tucking in your life, or want to get better at it, or maybe you just don't want it to come loose, you can use a toothpick and kind of shove it in at angles, and that will actually help hold those in place.
Oh, I'm having PTSD. My mom used to make a delicious chicken Kiev.
Oh, okay.
And one of us would always be like, oh, toothpick, like at some point.
That's what my Nana, I swear she used to make layer cakes and for your birthday, and it was always like a minefield because you'd cut into the cake, you'd be eating, and there'd just be toothpicks every couple of inches. But, you know.
They did what they can. It was delicious.
They did their job. That's the point. So, we're going to clean this up a little bit. We've got our pan on here.
Okay.
And what we're going to do...
What do you mean to do? Open this for you?
Oh, I was just taking that one glove off. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
We're going to put just a little bit of this in here. This is just... No, we're not.
Just kidding.
No, we're not.
I forgot to take the cap off.
It's just a little bit of canola oil.
Okay.
And the only reason we're doing this is you see the pan's already smoking. And when the bacon, as it cooks over time... Oh, I need to go down. What happens is the smoke temperature of bacon fat is very low. It's a meat fat, so it's not going to have a high smoke point.
Okay.
So what we're going to do to keep the bacon fat from burning and in turn burning our bacon, we just add a little bit of that canola oil. And what that's going to do is help us keep all of these good things from burning. Because if you've ever had burnt bacon flavor, it's not the best.
Okay.
Also, like we talked about in the beginning of the episode, it can be very bad for you.
Sure.
So we're going to put those in there and let them do their thing.
Okay.
And while those are working, we're going to talk about the veg for a little bit.
Okay.
So.
And Wyatt, since you just put that in, I want to ask you this because it's sort of parallel to it. But Melissa asked a question. Hi, Melissa. Thank you so much for watching. What is the best way to fry chicken?
So, I have a couple of different ways that I really like to fry chicken. It depends on what you're looking for. So for me, depends on the application, because sometimes I just want my chicken to be like southern fried, buttermilk, hot sauce marinated, and then tossed in my seasoned flour. The one thing I will say, two things that I always do that I think really take fried chicken to another level.
Okay, tell us.
Is one, I always use either cornstarch or potato starch or tapioca starch in the flour. And what that does is that's going to make it super crispy. And it's also going to help it stick because of how fine it's ground. Okay. The other thing that I do that's kind of sneaky is I put a little bit of yellow curry powder in my flour. And it really, people are like, what is it? What am I getting? Yeah. And they have no idea. And it's delicious. I just let my secret out. So if you guys are out there crushing the fried chicken game, I'm coming for you.
Pro tip, Melissa, make some and then let us know how it is. Thank you for the question.
We're going to use this just a bacon weight. Okay. And we're doing it for a couple of reasons. One is it's going to hold all those down, which is going to make sure that we sear that bacon, that we've got all those folds and tucks on the bottom side. So they're going to stay in there. And it's going to make sure it's here and get super crispy. It's also going to help keep some of that popping down without putting a lid on the pot.
All right. Well, we just had Mother's Day. I hope every mother watching, or if you're a mother figure, if you have fur babies, that you enjoyed your day. But a bacon weight, a great gift for a dad who has everything.
A bacon weight, absolutely. It's like great. That. You can use them for bacon. You can use them for burgers if you want to smash your burgers. And I prefer not to because I don't eat well-done burgers. But if that's what you're into, they're great for it. Okay. They're great really if you just need to cook something super fast. But they do push juices out. So you won't see me use them often. All right. And I'm not going to use this the whole entire time either. We're just using that to get that down there. But great tool, and they're great to have.
Okay, excellent.
So the veggies. Right?
Let's do it.
So what we've done here is I've got a little bit of rendered bacon fat. And this is because we're going to take this bacon fat and it's going to become sweet and sour and smoky and delicious. Okay. So you're not really it's going to be there, but you're not going to taste as much of the bacon as you're going to from just this bacon fat. And this bacon fat, we're going to use it to season up these vegetables.
All right, excellent.
If that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Corvette 624. Hey, Corvette 624.
Hey, that's our friend.
Yes. We're getting a lot of repeat viewers, and I love it, love it, love it. Okay, he or she wants to know, do you have to keep the bacon grease in the refrigerator? How long can you keep it? Good question.
So, I mean, in my house growing up, we had a coffee cup on the stove with a spoon in it. And that's when you cook bacon, you dump the bacon grease in there. Yeah. And it lived there.
Similar.
It lived there. There's one at my mom's house right now. Whether or not, in my house, we didn't have bacon fat lying around long enough for it to go bad. I know that it can. I don't want to tell you, hey, you could keep it for 2 weeks. I'm not going to give you a number, but I will say that if you keep it in the fridge, it's going to last a lot longer. So what I would say is keep it in an airtight container, Tupperware, something of that nature. Put it in the fridge, let it solidify, cut you a chunk off with a knife every now and then, and throw it in your pan. You do it that way, I can guarantee you it's going to last a while, several weeks.
I would venture too that if it goes bad, it probably starts to discolor a little bit, right?
Well, not so much as discolor. It will definitely smell though. Fat. You'll know when fat is bad because it goes rancid.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Corvette. We appreciate
keep asking
you.
The questions.
Yes, this
Love
is great.
From you.
This is great.
So again, because of the vegetables, because we're using bacon fat, we're going to wait and salt at the end, which we try to do all the time. But I want to taste them, just because when you are using bacon fat or pork fat or salted fat like that, you just want, whether it's beef bacon, pork bacon, that's what I was getting at. But anytime you're using those kind of fats, you always want to be mindful of the seasoning. Okay. Because especially if you bought a rendered beef fat or a bacon fat or something like that, you don't know how much salt was in that bacon. You don't know what bacon it was or how smoky it'll be. So you always kind of want to gauge those things.
Okay.
I'm going to check on our chicken for just a second.
So for those of you that are new to the show, welcome. We're so happy that you're here. If you're watching on a Facebook platform, awesome. You can go to slido.com and use the hashtag cookingwithEarthFare, and we give away a $50 gift card to Earth Fare every episode, every live episode. And I'll let you know who the winner is in about 10 minutes or so. This is episode 17 of season 2. And all of the recipes that Chef Brian has created live on SpringerMTN.com. So go there, cook a dish, Let us know. Hashtag Cooking with Earth Bear on Instagram. Hashtag Cooking with EF on Twitter. You'll see them right there on your screen. So connect with us all week long, please.
Yes.
We'd love to hear from you.
So one thing I wanted to talk about is that you'll notice that I'm using sweet potatoes and broccoli today. And one, those are two of my favorite vegetables of all time. But you'll notice that I'm dicing the sweet potatoes. These are raw. These are going right in here. And a lot of misconception is that sweet potatoes take a long time to cook. Well, if you bake them like a potato, yeah, they do, because a lot of times sweet potatoes, yams tend to be bigger. And they I know you guys have seen the ones that are football size in the grocery store. The ones here are a lot smaller. Sometimes they do have big ones. But when you dice a sweet potato like this, you can actually cook it fairly quickly, especially searing it. But that is why it's in here first, because we want to see it start to soften up. This recipe is also really good with butternut squash as an easy replacement.
Okay.
Which is something else I love to cook with.
All right, Chef, speaking of replacements, we have a question from Ken. Ken wants to know, could you make this dish with turkey bacon? Can I make a chowder by rendering turkey bacon and sprinkling the fat with flour for the base of my roux?
That's a good question, and it is all true.
Yes.
So you could use turkey bacon on this. If you want to double down on your birds, feel free.
Okay.
And yes, the one thing I will say is that the beauty of fat is that fat is interchangeable. The only thing you have to worry about is smoke temp. So if you want to make a roux if you want to pull the bacon out or the sausage out of a pan and use the grease and add flour and make your roux to build everything else, absolutely. And I encourage you to do so, because all you're going to do is continue building flavor. You hear me talk about this all the time. It's just building and building more flavor. And you see how that bacon weight has helped get us some crisping. We're not worried about it getting too crispy. We're going to put the weight back on for a few minutes, and then we're going to build the sauce, because the sauce happens pretty quickly, but we do want it to kind of glaze. We want it to be nice and thick. And you'll see our sweet potatoes looking good.
So good. Thank you for the question, Ken.
Yeah. So now that we're starting to see some color, you'll notice, if you can see like this one, you'll start to see just some softness starting, but it's not soft. So we know that we're not, don't get afraid of the color.
Okay.
Just because you're starting to see color, it's a sweet potato. It's got a lot of sugar in it. It's got a lot of things that'll caramelize. The more color, the more flavor, right? So we're going to let that keep going. The broccoli won't take long at all. We're going to start building our sauce for the chicken.
All right.
I think that's fair to say. I can put this guy away.
I should also mention, if you come hang out with us in the store and you ask a question, we love to give away free stuff. So you will get a bag of ingredients that the chef uses to make the dish.
Oh, you have it.
No, I'm good.
What
do you need?
No,
anything?
I don't need.
Okay, I'm just trying to get people to the show.
Right?
Come on down. Yeah.
I do need one thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Ta-da! So now that we've got our crisping, and you can see, I'll show you guys real quick. These guys are pretty crispy on both sides. You don't need a ton. We want our crispier side up because of the presentation. But we're going to pull these off to the side like this, just kind of like we started out, because I want access to the middle of that pan. And what we're going to do, just brown sugar. I have about a half a cup here.
Okay, while you do that, Lisa from Facebook just asked a question, and it's so funny because I was about to ask Chef the exact same thing. She says, we love chicken breasts, but I always have to cut them to make sure they're fully cooked. What's the best way to know?
Chicken breasts or thighs? She's saying breasts?
She's saying breast.
Okay.
But I think with any poultry, when you're cooking it and you want to make sure that it's done, especially if it's wrapped in something else, you don't want to ruin your presentation by just cutting it in half. But I feel like we always have to do that because especially with chicken, you want to make sure it's cooked thoroughly. Right,
you do. And definitely, so the question is how to test her chicken breast, right?
Yes.
Or how to not have to do this. So one, there's a couple things I've talked about on the show. One is if you have a chicken breast or something like that, or chicken thigh or chicken breast, either one, or even fish, and you cook it and you notice that like the white stuff kind of pops out of the top. Let's see if any of these are showing it. Yeah, so here's a perfect example. If we can zoom in on this pan. So right here, you see this white stuff that's kind of hanging out? And it kind of seems to like ooze out of the chicken? That's albumin. So that's the same protein that's found in egg whites, which is why it's white.
Did you make that up?
Nope.
I'm just kidding.
And what that does is that when that's cut, like if you see a piece of fish like salmon and that's sitting all on top,
Yes.
that salmon's overcooked. because what happens is once it's cooked all the way, it starts to leach out. The protein itself starts to break down. So that albumin is the key. On this, it was different because it was on that little corner. And so it was just like where the chicken was thinner. That's why it seemed like it was overcooked, but that chicken's still juicy. So I'm gonna stop for 2 seconds just because I have to do some stuff here.
Okay.
See how that sugar we put in there started to caramelize?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna add a little bit of apple cider vinegar.
What do you think the difficulty is on this
cackle.
dish? Scale 1 to 10, 10 being the hardest.
This dish, I would say with all the stuff, with the wrapping of the chicken and everything, it's a 6, 7.
Sure, because you also can't really leave it unattended.
Right.
Either, yeah. It's
So,
full contact.
I just broke that brown sugar that was starting to caramelize with the vinegar. And you just see me kind of breaking it up. And now we're just going to add a little bit of chicken stock.
Okay, and I know you've mentioned a few times the smoke point. It kind of has to do with a question we just got from Isra on Facebook. Here she wants to know, what is the best oil to use for frying?
So
does that matter? I guess that matters.
Matter.
Yeah.
It matters. All of it matters.
It all matters.
So
Isra.
it depends on what you're doing. So if you're like, some people swear by peanut oil for frying. Some people swear by corn oil. Some people, it's a preference in a lot of ways, but also it's about what you're cooking. So for me, depending on what I'm cooking, I will use different oils. So if I'm going for, and this goes back to smoke point, if I'm going for something that I want a really hard sear on, or I'm looking for a nice color, like a steak, for instance, I'm going to start that out in whatever oil I have that is the highest temp. So at my house, that's going to be probably avocado oil.
Okay.
And avocado oil is one of those things that is really, really good for you. It's really, really expensive, and sometimes it can be hard to find. Earth Fare, they do carry it. It's not that expensive. I think it's like, I want to say it's $9 to $12, I think, something like that for a size about this size.
Expensive.
Well, for oil, when you consider that this is probably $4.
No, it is, yes.
So that seems like a lot for oil, but the things that the benefits of having a higher smoke point is you're gonna have crispier stuff. But the reason I say be careful is, like, if I'm frying whole chicken, I'm gonna use so much oil, and so much of that oil is gonna end up in the chicken and things like that, that like, if I'm doing like just fried bird, I'm gonna use canola oil. And the reason being is just that it's pretty flavored, like it's got a decent flavor, it's not flavorless, it's gonna have a high smoke point, but it's not gonna brown my chicken too fast. Because I'm gonna be cooking big pieces of chicken, I want a long time of it being in the pan. Whereas if I have a higher smoke temp and a hotter oil, it'll make it crispier, but it'll make it darker faster, because that flour will caramelize faster.
All right, good to know. Thank you for the question, Isra.
We are getting real close.
It smells amazing.
I'm going to actually switch these pans just for a second. Oh.
Please do.
And the reason I did that, you see right back here how we're getting this nice glazed consistency? That's what we want. So we're going to spoon those up right on there. And again, this is 3 ingredients in this sauce. If you grab a spoon, I'll let you try it.
Okay.
And you can tell, it's going to be hot, but you can tell me if it needs any seasonings or not. It might need a touch of black pepper. I like it. I like a little black pepper. It's not for everyone. I like spicy stuff, though.
I do too. And obviously there's lots of things you can add or take away if it's to your liking.
That's pretty hot, so be careful.
Okay. Oh, that's so good.
Is it good?
Oh, yes.
And see, this is something like, if you want to make it even, one of the fun things that I like to do to make this even another level of flavor is you can put garlic in there, like whole garlic cloves, and they'll actually kind of candy in the sauce, and it really just adds another depth of flavor. But we are ready to plate.
Plate. I have a plate.
That's the easy part,
Very
right?
excited about the plate. Oh, I forgot to use my Cara Cam. Can I use my Cara Cam?
Yeah, you can watch. You can
totally
do it right
forgot.
now. When we
Okay.
plate.
Yes,
So,
during the plating.
so the things we're looking for: the broccoli. That was the last thing to add. You see our sweet potatoes? Our sweet potatoes, I just mushed it with the spoon, so they're nice and soft. Our broccoli is nice and vibrant green. We got a little bit of color in some places. That's all good things. That's all things that we want.
Ooh, it looks beautiful.
So we'll take a little bit of the broccoli and the sweet potatoes.
That is nice. I got my 3-year-old to eat broccoli last night. It was very exciting for me.
How'd you do it?
He just will eat anything.
Oh.
There's no trick
you said
to
that
it.
you were bragging about some special skill.
Well, no.
Well, no.
No. But it was exciting nonetheless.
Right? It always is when when you get anybody to try something that they've never tried,
Yes.
it's my favorite. Like I love telling people, I love people who say they don't like beets. And I'm like, I'll make you like beets.
Yeah.
Because I will guarantee you that I won't stop cooking beets for you until I can get you to like beets.
Ooh, beets are delicious.
All right. So, gonna grab a plate.
Ooh, let's tell everyone who won the $50 gift card while you're plating. We love to give stuff away.
Yes, we do.
Ooh,
I'm
that's
gonna
pretty.
cut a little bit of garnish real quick, just a little bit
please
of parsley.
do. Please do. All right, the winner of the $50 gift card to Earth Fair is Melissa Wilson. Thank you so much,
nice.
Melissa.
Melissa Wilson?
Yes.
I think I went to high school with her.
Well, hey, Melissa.
You'll have to,
What
let
was
me
Chef
know
Brian
if it
voted
is the
most
real
likely?
you.
Most likely
Will
to
the
be a
real
chef?
Melissa Wilson stand up, right?
Ooh, that's pretty.
Got that.
Oh
it a
my
little
goodness, you
white.
guys. Smells amazing.
And just a little bit of garnish. We're
Okay.
good to go.
Don't mind if I do. I get very excited. I do have like a tinge of guilt that I always get to be the first one to try your delicious meals every time. But
I don't think you should feel guilty. I make sure everybody gets a taste.
that's
this
true.
year.
You really do.
I'll chase people down in the store.
You
You
will.
want to try this?
That's what I'm saying. You need to come out to a live show, hang out with Chef Brian and I every Monday at 4 o'clock. We're actually going to be off the next 2 weeks, but you will still get a new episode. We're still going to show a new episode. We just won't be here live to answer your questions, but feel free to ask whatever you want because we will be in touch with you throughout the week. Connect with us on all social media. If you're a first-time watcher, hi. Thank you so much for joining us. We love doing this show, so we hope you love watching it as much as we love doing it, and I love eating. So cheers. Till next week.